The vast expanse of space had always beckoned humanity, its endless frontier promising adventure and discovery. But nothing could have prepared Earth for the events that unfolded on that fateful day in 2157. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the EA's Horizon, Earth's most advanced deep space exploration vessel. Her dark eyes scanned the holographic displays surrounding her, each one flickering with data streams from the ship's sensors. The crew worked in focused silence, the only sounds the soft beeps and whirs of the ship's systems. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Ravi Sharma from his station, his voice tinged with excitement. "We're picking up an anomalous signal. It's not like anything we've ever encountered before." Sarah's heart raced. After months of uneventful exploration, could this be the moment they'd all been waiting for? On screen, Lieutenant. The main view screen lit up with a dazzling display of swirling energy patterns, pulsing with colors that seemed to defy description. As the crew watched in awe, the patterns coalesced into a sleek, silver vessel that dwarfed the horizon in size. "My God," Sarah whispered, "it's a ship. An alien ship." The bridge erupted into a flurry of activity as the crew scrambled to analyze every aspect of the alien vessel. Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what came next. This was the moment humanity had dreamed of for centuries, first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. "Open a channel," she ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Let's hope they're friendly." As if in response, a beam of shimmering light burst forth from the alien ship, enveloping the horizon. Sarah tensed, preparing for the worst, but instead of weapons fire, a melodious voice filled the bridge, speaking in perfect English. "Greetings, children of Earth. We are the Zaraquin, and we come in peace." The next few hours were a whirlwind of communication and cultural exchange. The Zaraquin, it turned out, were a highly advanced species that had been observing humanity for decades. They praised human ingenuity and resilience, expressing a desire to form an alliance and share their knowledge. Sarah found herself in awe of the Zaraquin ambassador, Tilar, a tall, graceful being with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of millennia. As they toured the horizon together, Tilar's fascination with human technology was evident. "Your species has achieved so much in such a short time," Tilar marveled, running a six-fingered hand over a console. "We believe that together, our civilizations could accomplish great things." But as the initial excitement of first contact began to fade, Sarah couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Something about the Zaraquin's eagerness to ally with humanity didn't quite add up. Her suspicions were confirmed during a private meeting with Tilar in her ready room. The ambassador's demeanor changed, becoming more serious and urgent. "Captain Chen," Tilar began, "there is something we must discuss. A threat that endangers not only your species but ours as well." Sarah leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "What kind of threat?" Tilar's eyes darkened. "They are known as the Void Collective, a race of beings that exist partially in our dimension and partially in another. They consume entire worlds, leaving nothing but empty husks in their wake." A chill ran down Sarah's spine as Tilar continued. "We have been fighting them for centuries, but our efforts alone are not enough. That is why we sought out your species. Human adaptability and creativity may be the key to defeating this enemy." As Tilar spoke, holographic images appeared, showing the devastation wrought by the Void Collective. Entire solar systems reduced to lifeless debris fields, strange energy patterns writhing at the edges of the destruction. Sarah's mind raced. This was far beyond anything humanity had ever faced. But as she looked at the images of devastated worlds, she knew they had no choice but to fight. "What can we do?" she asked, her voice filled with determination. Tilar's expression softened. "For now, we must prepare. Share this information with your leaders. We will provide you with technology to defend yourselves, but it is your unique human perspective that may ultimately save us all." As Sarah absorbed the gravity of the situation, alarms blared throughout the ship. Lieutenant Sharma's voice came over the comm, panic evident in his tone. Captain, we're detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the solar system. They match the Void Collective's patterns." Sarah and Talar exchanged a look of horror. The enemy was already here. "Battle stations," Sarah ordered, rushing back to the bridge with Talar close behind. As they arrived, the view screen showed a terrifying sight. A swirling mass of darkness, punctuated by flashes of otherworldly energy, advancing towards Earth. Talar's voice was grim. "They're here sooner than we anticipated. Captain Chen, the fate of both our peoples now rests in humanity's hands." As Sarah gazed at the approaching threat, she felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. Humanity's first contact with alien life had brought not just wonder and discovery, but a battle for survival that would push her species to its limits. She turned to her crew, seeing the mix of fear and determination in their eyes. "This is what we've trained for," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "We may be facing an enemy beyond our comprehension, but we will not go down without a fight. Humanity has overcome every obstacle in its path, and will overcome this one too." As the Horizon prepared for battle alongside the Zarquin ship, Sarah couldn't help but think that this was just the beginning. The true test of human ingenuity and resilience was yet to come. The Void Collective loomed ever closer, its otherworldly presence a stark reminder of the cosmic horrors that lurked in the depths of space. But as Sarah looked at her crew, at Talar, and thought of the billions of lives depending on them back on Earth, she knew one thing for certain: humanity was ready to prove itself on the galactic stage. The battle for survival had begun. The Alliance. The weeks following first contact were a whirlwind of activity on Earth. News of the alien threat spread rapidly, causing initial panic before the world's leaders managed to rally humanity around a common cause. The Zarquin, true to their word, shared advanced technology to help Earth prepare for the impending invasion. Dr. Eliza Reeves, a brilliant physicist, found herself at the forefront of humanity's efforts to understand and adapt the alien tech. Her lab at the newly established Global Defense Initiative, GDI, headquarters buzzed with activity as scientists from around the world worked tirelessly to integrate Zarquin shield technology with Earth's existing defense systems. "We're making progress," Eliza muttered, her green eyes flickering across holographic schematics. "But is it enough?" Her assistant, Jin Park, looked up from his workstation. "The simulations are promising, Dr. Reeves. If we can successfully implement these shields planet-wide, we might stand a chance." Eliza nodded, but couldn't shake the nagging feeling that they were missing something crucial. The Void Collective, as described by the Zarquin, seemed to defy the laws of physics as humanity understood them. How could they fight an enemy that existed partially in another dimension? Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, Captain Sarah Chen oversaw the integration of Zarquin weapons systems onto the EA's Horizon. Talar worked alongside her, the alien's graceful movements a stark contrast to the controlled chaos of the human crew. "Your people adapt quickly," Talar observed, a hint of admiration in their melodious voice. "It is unexpected." Sarah smiled grimly. "Humanity has a long history of adapting to survive. It's one of our greatest strengths." As they worked, Sarah couldn't help but notice the subtle differences in how the Zarquin approached problems compared to humans. Where the aliens relied on elegant, pre-established solutions, her crew often came up with unconventional, sometimes seemingly illogical fixes that somehow worked. On the planet's surface, military forces from around the world united under the GDI banner. Colonel Marcus Briggs, a decorated veteran, found himself in charge of training Earth's first interspecies combat units. The integration of human and Zarquin troops proved challenging, with cultural misunderstandings and differing tactical doctrines causing frequent clashes. During one particularly tense training exercise, a human soldier, Private Rodriguez, improvised a solution to a complex problem that left the Zarquin troops baffled. "That's not how it's done," protested Zarquin warrior Kellex. "Your method is inefficient and risky." Rodriguez shrugged. Maybe, but it worked, didn't it? Colonel Briggs intervened before the argument could escalate. Both approaches have merit. Our strength lies in combining our different perspectives. As the days passed, these small conflicts became more frequent. The Zarquin, for all their advanced technology and peaceful intentions, struggled to understand the seemingly chaotic and emotional nature of human decision-making. In orbit, Sarah noticed Talar growing increasingly agitated as the Void Collective drew nearer. "Is everything all right?" she asked the alien ambassador during a rare quiet moment. Tiller hesitated before responding. "Your people's methods are unpredictable. We fear this may jeopardize our carefully laid plans." Sarah frowned. "Our unpredictability is what makes us effective. It's how we've survived countless challenges on Earth." Perhaps, Tiller conceded, though doubt lingered in their otherworldly eyes. Back in her lab, Eliza had a breakthrough. Poring over the Zarquin data on the Void Collective, she noticed a pattern that had been overlooked. "Jin," she called out excitedly, "I think I found something." Her assistant rushed over as Eliza explained her discovery. The Void Collective's partial existence in another dimension wasn't just a defensive measure, it was a weakness that could be exploited. "If we can develop a way to force them fully into our dimension," Eliza theorized, "we might be able to fight them on our terms." The news of Eliza's breakthrough spread quickly, reinvigorating Earth's defenders. But as humans celebrated this potential advantage, the Zarquin reaction was decidedly mixed. During an emergency meeting of GDI leadership, Talar expressed concerns. "This approach is untested and dangerous. We cannot risk everything on an unproven theory." General Maria Hernandez, the head of GDI, stood firm. "With all due respect, Ambassador, we don't have the luxury of playing it safe. Dr. Ree's theory gives us a fighting chance, and we're going to take it." The tension in the room was palpable as humans and Zarquin argued over the best course of action. It was clear that despite their alliance, fundamental differences in their approaches to problem-solving and risk assessment were causing a rift. As the debate raged on, alarms blared throughout the GDI headquarters. On the main screen, a chilling sight appeared. The Void Collective had breached the outer reaches of the solar system. The swirling mass of otherworldly energy dwarfed anything humanity had ever encountered. General Hernandez's voice cut through the chaos. "We're out of time. We go with Dr. Ree's plan. All forces, prepare for engagement." As the room erupted into action, Sarah caught Talar's eye. The alien's expression was unreadable, but Sarah sensed a mix of resignation and something else. Doubt, fear, she couldn't be sure. In the following hours, Earth's combined fleet, a mix of human and Zarquin ships, took up defensive positions. On the planet's surface, Eliza and her team worked feverishly to implement their dimensional stabilization technology on a global scale. Colonel Briggs rallied his troops, human and Zarquin alike. "Today, we face an enemy that threatens not just our world, but our very existence. But remember this, we are not alone. Together, we will show the universe what happens when you threaten humanity and our allies." As the Void Collective approached, casting an otherworldly shadow over the planet, Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the horizon, Tiller by her side. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. "Are you ready?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her insides. Tiller nodded sullenly. "We must be, for both our sakes." But as the first tendrils of the Void Collective reached out towards Earth's defenses, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this alliance, and this war then met the eye. The true test of humanity's ingenuity and the strength of their newfound alliance was about to begin. The battle for Earth had arrived. In orbit, Sarah noticed Talar growing increasingly agitated as the Void Collective drew nearer. "Is everything all right?" she asked the alien ambassador during a rare quiet moment. Tiller hesitated before responding. "Your people's methods are unpredictable. We fear this may jeopardize our carefully laid plans." Sarah frowned. "Our unpredictability is what makes us effective. It's how we survived countless challenges on Earth. Perhaps, Tala conceded, though doubt lingered in their otherworldly eyes. Back in her lab, Eliza had a breakthrough. Poring over the Zarquin data on the Void Collective, she noticed a pattern that had been overlooked. "Jin," she called out excitedly, "I think I found something." Her assistant rushed over as Eliza explained her discovery. The Void Collective's partial existence in another dimension wasn't just a defensive measure, it was a weakness that could be exploited. If we can develop a way to force them fully into our dimension, Eliza theorized, we might be able to fight them on our terms. The news of Eliza's breakthrough spread quickly, reinvigorating Earth's defenders. But as humans celebrated this potential advantage, the Zarquin reaction was decidedly mixed. During an emergency meeting of GDI leadership, Talar expressed concerns. "This approach is untested and dangerous. We cannot risk everything on an unproven theory." General Noria Hernandez, the head of GDI, stood firm. "With all due respect, Ambassador, we don't have the luxury of playing it safe. Dr. Ree's theory gives us a fighting chance, and we're going to take it." The tension in the room was palpable as humans and Zarquin argued over the best course of action. It was clear that despite their alliance, fundamental differences in their approaches to problem-solving and risk assessment were causing a rift. As the debate raged on, alarms blared throughout the GDI headquarters. On the main screen, a chilling sight appeared. The Void Collective had breached the outer reaches of the solar system. The swirling mass of otherworldly energy dwarfed anything humanity had ever encountered. General Hernandez's voice cut through the chaos. "We're out of time. We go with Dr. Ree's plan. All forces, prepare for engagement." As the room erupted into action, Sarah caught Talar's eye. The alien's expression was unreadable, but Sarah sensed a mix of resignation and something else. Doubt, fear, she couldn't be sure. In the following hours, Earth's combined fleet, a mix of human and Zarquin ships, took up defensive positions. On the planet's surface, Eliza and her team worked feverishly to implement their dimensional stabilization technology on a global scale. Colonel Briggs rallied his troops, human and Zarquin alike. "Today, we face an enemy that threatens not just our world, but our very existence. But remember this, we are not alone. Together, we will show the universe what happens when you threaten humanity and our allies." As the Void Collective approached, casting an otherworldly shadow over the planet, Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the horizon, Tilla by her side. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. "Are you ready?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her insides. Tilla nodded solemnly. "We must be, for both our sakes." But as the first tendrils of the Void Collective reached out towards Earth's defenses, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this alliance, and this war than met the eye. The true test of humanity's ingenuity and the strength of their newfound alliance was about to begin. The betrayal. The battle raged across the solar system, a cosmic dance of destruction that defied human comprehension. Earth's combined fleet, bolstered by Zarquin technology, held its own against the initial onslaught of the Void Collective. Dr. Eliza Ree's dimensional stabilization field, while not perfect, managed to partially materialize portions of the enemy forces, allowing Earth's defenders to strike back. Aboard the EA's Horizon, Captain Sarah Chen coordinated the human fleet's efforts, her voice steady as she issued commands. Battle Group Sigma, concentrate fire on the materialized sector in Quadrant 4. Battle Group Omega, maintain defensive formation around the Mars colony. Talar stood beside her, relaying orders to the Zarquin ships. But as the battle progressed, Sarah noticed a troubling pattern. The Zarquin vessels seemed to be holding back, their movements more defensive than offensive. "Tilla," Sarah said, her voice low, "why aren't your ships pressing the advantage in Sector 7? We have a chance to deal a significant blow to the collective there." The alien ambassador's iridescent skin shimmered with what Sarah had come to recognize as discomfort. Our tactics are based on centuries of experience, Captain. We must not be reckless. Before Sarah could press further, a transmission came through from Earth. Dr. Ree's face appeared on the screen, her expression a mix of excitement and concern. "Captain, we've made a breakthrough," Elisa said breathlessly. "We've detected a pattern in the collective's energy signature. If we can amplify our stabilization field at just the right frequency, we might be able to fully materialize a large portion of their fleet." Sarah's heart raced at the possibility. "That's excellent news, Doctor. What do you need from us?" "We need to get closer," Elisa explained. "The Horizon's systems are the only ones powerful enough to generate the field at this scale. But it's risky. You'll have to get dangerously close to the collective's core." Sarah turned to Tilar, expecting to see the same hope she felt reflected in the alien's eyes. Instead, she saw something that made her blood run cold: fear. "We cannot do this," Tilar said, their voice unnaturally sharp. "The risk is too great. We must retreat and regroup." "Retreat," Sarah echoed in disbelief. "This is our chance to turn the tide. We have to take it." As they argued, Colonel Briggs' voice crackled over the comms from the surface of Mars, where he led the ground defense. "Captain, we're picking up strange energy readings from the Zarquin ships. They're powering up their drives. It looks like they're preparing to jump out of the system." Sarah stared at Tilar in shock. What is the meaning of this? The alien's composure cracked, revealing a mix of regret and determination. "I'm sorry, Captain Chen. We cannot allow you to fully materialize the Void Collective. The consequences would be unthinkable." With growing horror, Sarah realized the truth. "You never intended to help us defeat them, did you? This was all just to, what? Use us as a distraction." Tilar's silence was all the confirmation she needed. "All human ships, this is Captain Chen," Sarah broadcast across all frequencies. "The Zarquin are abandoning us. Prepare for immediate implementation of Protocol Omega." As chaos erupted across the fleet, Sarah turned to her crew. "Lock down all Zarquin technology on board. Initiate emergency purge of all alien data from our systems." Security officers moved to restrain Tilar, but the alien was too quick. With inhuman speed, they reached a hidden device on their wrist. "I truly am sorry," Tilar said softly before disappearing in a flash of light, a personal teleportation device that had gone undetected. Across the solar system, Zarquin ships began to vanish, jumping to faster-than-light speeds and abandoning their human allies. The sudden absence left gaping holes in Earth's defenses, allowing tendrils of the Void Collective to push closer to the planet. On Mars, Colonel Briggs watched in disbelief as their alien allies disappeared. "Those bastards," he growled, before turning to rally his troops. "Stand fast. We are humanity's last line of defense. We will not fall." Back on Earth, Dr. Reeves and her team worked frantically to compensate for the loss of Zarquin support. "We can still do this," she muttered, her fingers flying across holographic interfaces. "We just need to recalibrate, find a way to boost the signal." In orbit, the Ease Horizon found itself alone at the forefront of Earth's remaining defense fleet. Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her mind racing to formulate a new strategy. The betrayal of the Zarquin had left humanity in an impossible situation, facing an enemy they barely understood, with technology they hadn't fully integrated. "Status report," Sarah demanded, her voice tight with controlled fury. Lieutenant Sharma's response was grim. Shields at 60% and falling. Multiple hull breaches on decks 4 through 7. Weapon systems are operational, but without the Zarquin targeting data, our hit rate has dropped significantly. On the surface, Elisa took a deep breath. "As ready as we'll ever be, Captain. Good luck." "See you on the other side," Sarah replied, then pressed the switch. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a blinding flash of light, the Horizon's drive core detonated. A massive wave of energy burst forth, visible even from Earth as a ripple in the fabric of space itself. The effect on the Void Collective was immediate and dramatic. Where the wave touched, the swirling darkness seemed to recoil, portions of it flickering out of existence entirely. On Mars, Colonel Briggs watched in awe as the void entities attacking his position suddenly dissipated. "My God," he breathed. "They did it." Back on Earth, Eliza and her team cheered as their senses confirmed what they were seeing. "The dimensional shockwave is working," Jin exclaimed. "The collective is being pushed back." But their celebration was short-lived. As the shockwave expanded, it began to destabilize. "No, no, no," Eliza muttered, her fingers flying over her console. "The wave is collapsing. We need more power to sustain it." That's when something unexpected happened. All across the planet, in every major city and small town, lights began to flicker. Power grids surged as millions of people, understanding the dire situation from emergency broadcasts, voluntarily shut off their power, diverting every available watt to Eliza's dimensional projectors. It was a global effort, a moment of unity unlike anything in human history. From the International Space Station to small villages in remote areas, humanity stood as one, contributing whatever they could to the fight. The surge of power reached Eliza's systems just as the shockwave was about to collapse. With a burst of renewed energy, the wave stabilized, pushing outward with even greater force. In space, the remains of the human fleet watched in awe as the Void Collective was driven back, forced out of Earth's solar system by the power of human ingenuity and unity. As the last tendrils of the collective disappeared from their sensors, a cheer went up across every ship, every base, and every home on Earth. They had done it. Humanity had faced an enemy beyond their comprehension and emerged victorious. But the celebration was tinged with sadness. The EA's horizon, with Captain Sarah Chen and her brave crew, was nowhere to be found. They had sacrificed everything to give Earth a fighting chance. As the dust settled and the full extent of their victory became clear, humanity began to look to the future. They had survived, yes, but more than that, they had proven themselves on a galactic stage. The Zarquin's betrayal had left them with advanced technology to study. The battle had forged them into a unified global force, and the victory had given them confidence that they could face whatever the universe might throw at them next. Dr. Eliza Reeves, standing in her lab and looking at the stars through a window, smiled softly. "Well, Sarah," she whispered, "wherever you are, I hope you can see this. We did it, and we're just getting started." As news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, other alien races took notice. Humanity, it seemed, was a force to be reckoned with. The age of Earth's isolation was over. A new era of human advancement, exploration, and cosmic diplomacy was about to begin. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of space, a battered but intact EE's horizon drifted, its systems slowly coming back online. Captain Sarah Chen opened her eyes, a smile spreading across her face as she realized they had survived. "Well," she said to her groggy but alive crew, "I think it's time we found our way home. Earth is going to need us for what comes next." The battle was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. Sarah took a deep breath, centering herself. This was the moment that would define humanity's future. They had been betrayed, abandoned, and left to die. But if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was surviving against impossible odds. "Listen up," she addressed her crew, her voice carrying across the ship-wide comm. "The Zarquin may have abandoned us, but we are not defeated. We are humanity. We faced extinction before, from our own making, and from forces beyond our control. Every time, we've survived. We've adapted. We've overcome." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Today, we face our greatest challenge yet. But I look around this bridge, at the men and women willing to give everything to protect our home, and I know this, the Void Collective has no idea what they've gotten themselves into." A cheer went up across the ship, echoed by similar rallying cries from vessels across the fleet. "Now," Sarah continued, a fierce glint in her eye, "let's show these cosmic horrors what happens when you back humanity into a corner. All ships, prepare to execute Maneuver Theta 9. We're taking the fight to them." As the remnants of Earth's fleet began to move into position, following the Horizon's lead, Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. The Zarquins' betrayal had left them with nothing to lose, and a human with nothing to lose was the most dangerous force in the universe. The battle for survival had entered a new phase, and humanity was about to show the cosmos why they should never be underestimated. The battle for Earth had arrived. Human ingenuity. As the EE's Horizon led Earth's battered fleet towards the heart of the Void Collective, Captain Sarah Chen knew they were embarking on what could very well be a suicide mission. But in the face of extinction, humanity had no choice but to take the fight directly to the enemy. "All ships, execute Maneuver Theta 9, Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. The human fleet moved in perfect synchronization, a testament to their training and adaptability. On the planet's surface, Dr. Eliza Reeves and her team worked feverishly to repurpose the Zarquin technology left behind. "We need to think outside the box," she muttered, her eyes scanning rapidly over lines of alien code. "Jin, what if we reverse the polarity of the dimensional stabilizer?" Her assistant looked up, a spark of understanding in his eyes. That could work. Instead of trying to fully materialize the collective, we could push them further into their dimension, disrupting their ability to affect our space. As they worked, Colonel Briggs and his forces on Mars held the line against waves of partially materialized void entities. The Colonel's voice crackled over the comms, strained but determined. "We need something game-changing, and we need it now." Sarah gritted her teeth, watching as another human ship succumbed to the collective's otherworldly assault. They were running out of time and options. That's when an idea struck her, a crazy, possibly suicidal idea, but one that just might work. "Dr. Reeves," she called over the secure channel, "I need you to do something for me. It's going to sound insane, but I think it's our only shot." As Sarah outlined her plan, Eliza's eyes widened. "Captain, that's brilliant. Insane, yes, but brilliant. We'll need to reconfigure the Horizon's drive core, but it could work." Over the next hour, as the battle raged around them, the crew of the Horizon worked frantically to implement Sarah's plan. They were going to turn their ship into a dimensional bomb. "The concept is simple," Sarah explained to her bewildered crew. "We overload the drive core, creating a massive surge of energy. Dr. Reeves will use that energy to create a dimensional shockwave. If it works, it should disrupt the collective's ability to exist in our space, maybe even push them back entirely." Lieutenant Sharma looked skeptical. "And if it doesn't work?" Sarah's expression was grim. "Then we take a lot of them with us." As the final preparations were made, Sarah opened a channel to the entire fleet. "This is Captain Chen. In a few moments, the Horizon will execute a maneuver that we hope will turn the tide of this battle. All ships are ordered to fall back to minimum safe distance. If we don't make it, it has been an honor serving with all of you. For Earth." The response came back, a chorus of voices united in determination. For Earth. As the human fleet pulled back, the Horizon plunged deeper into the swirling mass of the Void Collective. Tendrils of otherworldly energy lashed at the ship's hull, alarms blaring throughout the vessel. "Drive core at maximum overload," Sharma reported, his voice tense. "We have maybe 2 minutes before it goes critical." Sarah nodded, her hand hovering over the final activation switch. "Dr. Reeves, are you ready?" On the surface, Eliza took a deep breath. "As ready as we'll ever be, Captain. Good luck." "See you on the other side," Sarah replied, then pressed the switch. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a blinding flash of light, the Horizon's drive core detonated. A massive wave of energy burst forth, visible even from Earth as a ripple in the fabric of space itself. The effect on the Void Collective was immediate and dramatic. Where the wave touched, the swirling darkness seemed to recoil, portions of it flickering out of existence entirely. On Mars, Colonel Briggs watched in awe as the void entities attacking his position suddenly dissipated. "My God," he breathed. "They did it." Back on Earth, Eliza and her team cheered as their sensors confirmed what they were seeing. "The dimensional shockwave is working," Jin exclaimed. "The collective is being pushed back." But their celebration was short-lived. As the shockwave expanded, it began to destabilize. "No, no, no," Eliza muttered, her fingers flying over her console. "The wave is collapsing. We need more power to sustain it." That's when something unexpected happened. All across the planet, in every major city and small town, lights began to flicker. Power grids surged as millions of people, understanding the dire situation from emergency broadcasts, voluntarily shut off their power, diverting every available watt to Eliza's dimensional projectors. It was a global effort, a moment of unity unlike anything in human history. From the International Space Station to small villages in remote areas, humanity stood as one, contributing whatever they could to the fight. The surge of power reached Eliza's systems just as the shockwave was about to collapse. With a burst of renewed energy, the wave stabilized, pushing outward with even greater force. In space, the remains of the human fleet watched in awe as the Void Collective was driven back, forced out of Earth's solar system by the power of human ingenuity and unity. As the last tendrils of the collective disappeared from their sensors, a cheer went up across every ship, every base, and every home on Earth. They had done it. Humanity had faced an enemy beyond their comprehension and emerged victorious. But the celebration was tinged with sadness. The EA's horizon, with Captain Sarah Chen and her brave crew, was nowhere to be found. They had sacrificed everything to give Earth a fighting chance. As the dust settled and the full extent of their victory became clear, humanity began to look to the future. They had survived, yes, but more than that, they had proven themselves on a galactic stage. The Zarquins' betrayal had left them with advanced technology to study. The battle had forged them into a unified global force, and the victory had given them confidence that they could face whatever the universe might throw at them next. Dr. Eliza Reeves, standing in her lab and looking at the stars through a window, smiled softly. "Well, Sarah," she whispered, "wherever you are, I hope you can see this. We did it, and we're just getting started." As news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, other alien races took notice. Humanity, it seemed, was a force to be reckoned with. The age of Earth's isolation was over. A new era of human advancement, exploration, and cosmic diplomacy was about to begin. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of space, a battered but intact EA's horizon drifted, its systems slowly coming back online. Captain Sarah Chen opened her eyes, a smile spreading across her face as she realized they had survived. "Well," she said to her groggy but alive crew, "I think it's time we found our way home. Earth is going to need us for what comes next." The battle was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The counterattack. In the months following Earth's miraculous victory over the Void Collective, humanity experienced a renaissance of technological advancement and global unity. The remnants of Zarquin technology, combined with the innovative solutions born from desperation during the battle, catapulted human scientific understanding forward by decades. Dr. Eliza Reeves found herself at the helm of the newly established Terran Advanced Research Division, TRRD, tasked with reverse engineering alien tech and developing new defenses for Earth. Her team's first major breakthrough came in the form of a rudimentary faster-than-light, FTL, drive, based on principles observed in the Zarquin ships. "It's not perfect," Eliza explained to the United Earth Council, a governing body formed in the wake of the invasion, "but it will allow us to reach nearby star systems in a matter of weeks rather than years." Colonel Marcus Briggs, now General Briggs, nodded approvingly. "That's the edge we need. We can't afford to wait for the next threat to come to us. We need to take the fight to them. The council chamber erupted into heated debate. Some argued for caution, for focusing on rebuilding and defense. Others, still reeling from the Zarquin betrayal, pushed for an aggressive stance. In the midst of this, a familiar face appeared on the main screen, Captain Sarah Chen, her image slightly distorted by faster-than-light communication. "Captain Chen," exclaimed General Maria Hernandez, her voice filled with relief. "We feared you were lost." Sarah smiled tiredly. "It'll take more than a dimensional shockwave to keep us down. We've been limping back on auxiliary power, but that's not why I'm calling. We've discovered something you need to see." The screen shifted to show a star map. Scattered across it were pulsing red dots. "These are void collective remnants," Sarah explained. "Pockets of their forces that were cut off when we pushed them out of our system. They're regrouping, and based on the energy signatures we're detecting, they're angry." The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Earth's victory had been decisive but not final. The threat was still very much alive. "There's more," Sarah continued. "We've picked up transmissions suggesting that the Zarquin are rallying other alien races against us. They're painting us as a dangerous, unpredictable species that needs to be contained." General Briggs leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "So we're facing a war on two fronts. The Void Collective wanting revenge, and a potential alliance of alien races fearing our potential." Dr. Rees, who had been quietly analyzing the data, spoke up. "Not necessarily two fronts. Look at the pattern of these Void Collective remnants. They're concentrated in sectors that our long-range scans show to be rich in resources. Sectors that would be vital for any interstellar civilization." A spark of understanding passed through the room. Sarah nodded on the screen. "Exactly. We think the Zarquin and other races have been using the Void Collective as a sort of cosmic attack dog, pointing them at resource-rich areas to clear them out, then swooping in to claim the spoils. And we disrupted their whole operation," General Hernandez concluded. "No wonder they want us contained." The council erupted into discussion again, but this time with a sense of purpose. Earth had been thrust onto the galactic stage, and now they needed to prove they belonged there. Over the next weeks, a daring plan was formed. Earth would launch a two-pronged offensive, one arm to deal with the Void Collective remnants, and another to establish diplomatic relations with other alien races, circumventing the Zarquin's attempts to isolate them. The EA's Horizon, once it returned home, was refitted with a new FTL drive and the latest weapons developed by Dr. Rees' team. Captain Sarah Chen would lead a task force to hunt down and eliminate the Void Collective pockets. Meanwhile, a diplomatic vessel, the TEV Olive Branch, was commissioned. Its mission, to make peaceful first contact with other alien civilizations and present humanity's case directly, countering the Zarquin's narrative. As the two fleets prepared to embark on their historic missions, a sense of anticipation and nervous energy permeated Earth. This was humanity's chance to secure its place among the stars. On the bridge of the Horizon, Sarah Chen looked out at her assembled fleet. Ships of all nations flew together under the new United Earth banner. "All ships, prepare for FTL jump," she commanded. "Let's remind the universe why it's a bad idea to back humanity into a corner." Across the solar system, on the Olive Branch, the diplomatic team led by Dr. Jin Park, Eliza's former assistant, prepare for their own journey. "Our words will be as important as any weapon," Jin reminded his team. "We're not just fighting for our survival now, but for our place in the galactic community." As both fleets engaged their FTL drives, disappearing from Earth's skies in flashes of light, humanity collectively held its breath. The outcome of these missions would determine not just their own fate, but potentially the future of the galaxy itself. In the depths of space, the Void Collective remnants seethed with otherworldly fury, preparing for revenge. On distant worlds, alien civilizations debated the threat and potential of these newcomers called humans. And somewhere out there, the Zarquin watched warily, realizing that their actions had awakened a force they might not be able to control. The next chapter of humanity's cosmic adventure had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. A new era. The vastness of space stretched out before the EA's horizon as it led Earth's combat fleet through the star-studded void. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the tactical display showing their first target, a significant pocket of void collective forces amassing in a resource-rich system. All ships, Battle Formation Delta, Sarah commanded. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth anymore, we're fighting for our place in the galaxy. As the fleet engaged the Void Collective remnant, the battle that ensued was unlike anything they had faced before. The humans, armed with their adapted Zarquin technology and their own innovative solutions, fought with a ferocity that surprised even the ethereal horrors they faced. Meanwhile, light years away, the TEV Olive Branch made its approach to Centaurid Prime, a neutral trading hub known for its diverse alien population. Dr. Jin Park stood on the bridge, adjusting his uniform nervously. Centauri Control, this is the TEV Olive Branch from Earth, requesting permission to dock. Jin transmitted, his voice steady despite his nerves. There was a tense pause before a response came through. Earth vessel, you are cleared for docking. Be advised, your presence here is controversial. As the Olive Branch docked, Jin and his team prepared for their first true diplomatic mission. They would need all their skills to navigate the complex political landscape and present humanity's case to the galactic community. Back in the combat zone, the battle raged on. The Horizon's weapons lanced through space, their beams infused with the dimensional disruption technology developed by Dr. Reeves. Where they struck, portions of the Void Collective simply ceased to exist in our dimension. Captain, Lieutenant Sharma called out, we're detecting a power surge from the Collective. It's like nothing we've seen before. Sarah's eyes narrowed as she watched a swirling vortex of dark energy form at the heart of the Collective forces. All ships, evasive maneuvers. The vortex exploded outward, tendrils of void energy reaching for the human fleet. But as they approached, something unexpected happened. The ship's shields, reverse-engineered from Zarquin tech and enhanced by human ingenuity, didn't just resist the attack, they absorbed it. Dr. Reeves, are you seeing this? Sarah called over the comm. In her lab back on Earth, Elisa stared at the incoming data with wide eyes. Incredible. The shields are converting the void energy. Captain, if you can get closer, you might be able to overload their core. On Centaurid Prime, Jin and his team faced a different kind of battle. In a grand chamber filled with representatives from dozens of alien races, they made their case. We understand your fears, Jin addressed the assembly, his voice carrying across the room. Humanity is new to the galactic stage. We're unpredictable, yes, but we're also adaptable, innovative, and above all, we're willing to learn and cooperate. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. A Zarquin representative stood, his iridescent skin shimmering with agitation. The humans are a threat. They disrupted the delicate balance we've maintained for millennia. Jin smiled diplomatically. A balance built on using the Void Collective as a weapon, you mean? On keeping younger races from accessing resource-rich systems. His words caused a stir, and he pressed on. We propose a new way forward, one of true cooperation, where all races work together to face threats like the Void Collective. As Jin spoke, data streamed in from the battle. Holographic displays showed the human fleet not just holding their own, but pushing back the collective forces with unprecedented effectiveness. In the heart of the battle, Sarah Chen made a decision. All ships converge on the collective's core. We're ending this here and now. The Horizon led the charge, its shields absorbing more and more void energy as they pushed forward. At the last moment, Sarah gave the order. Reverse polarity on the shields. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. The resulting explosion as the accumulated void energy was released back into the collective's core was visible across half the sector. When the light faded, the Void Collective forces were gone, leaving behind only dissipating wisps of otherworldly energy. News of the victory spread quickly, reaching Centauroid Prime just as the diplomatic negotiations were at their most tense. The mood in the chamber shifted palpably. An elder alien, its former mass of softly glowing tendrils, floated forward. Perhaps it said in a melodious voice, "We have been too hasty in our judgment of these humans. They have done what we could not, faced the Void Collective, and emerged victorious." Over the next hours, as more reports came in of human fleets successfully eliminating Void Collective remnants across multiple sectors, the tide of opinion began to turn. The Zarquin representatives found themselves increasingly isolated as other races began to see the potential benefits of an alliance with Earth. As the diplomatic summit concluded, Jin couldn't keep the smile from his face as he transmitted the news back to Earth. "We've done it. We've secured our place in the galactic community. Multiple races have expressed interest in formal alliances, and there's talk of Earth joining the Galactic Council." In the following months, the galaxy entered a new era of cooperation. Earth became a hub of technological and cultural exchange, with aliens from across the cosmos coming to learn and trade. The threat of the Void Collective was diminished, though not entirely eliminated, ensuring that the Alliance remained vigilant. Captain Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood in the newly constructed Terran Space Command headquarters, looking out at the bustling spaceport where ships from a dozen alien races docked alongside Earth vessels. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Dr. Eliza Rees said, joining her at the window. Sarah nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "Did you ever imagine, when we first met the Zarquin, that we'd end up here?" Eliza laughed. "Not in a million years. But that's humanity for you, always defying expectations." As they watched, a sleek new ship rose from the launch pad, the first of Earth's new Explorer-class vessels, designed for long-range exploration and diplomacy. "So," Eliza asked, "what's next for the famous Admiral Chen? Surely you're not planning to ride a desk for the rest of your career?" Sarah's eyes twinkled with excitement. "Well, funny you should ask. I've just been given command of an expedition. We're heading out beyond known space, seeking out new life and new civilizations. Going where no one has gone before," Eliza quipped. "Something like that," Sarah replied with a grin. "Care to join us? I hear there's lots of strange new phenomena out there just waiting to be studied." As the two women discussed the upcoming mission, the sun set on Earth, its light glinting off the hulls of 1,000 ships in orbit. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger than ever. The galaxy had tried to contain them, to use them, to destroy them, but in the end, it had only succeeded in unleashing humanity's true potential. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with the promise of adventure, and humanity, ever curious, ever resilient, was more than ready to answer that call. The end of one chapter had come, but the greatest adventure, humanity's journey to the stars, was just beginning.